Hi and welcome back. Grandpa got one. Here in Texas, it is actually legal to process your own deer and wild game that you hunt in your home. That's what we did with this first one. This is his first ever harvest. He is working on some other stuff on the deer right now. He harvested it about a week ago. We cut everything into its large portions, you know, the thigh, calves, rib meat, neck meat, things of that nature, and put them all in the freezer to be processed one at a time. Today, we're going to go ahead and start with the deer jerky. This is going to be teriyaki. We're going to add a little bit of spice to it as well. It is a step-by-step process, and I am going to go ahead and go over that with you. And we are going to go ahead and do some other things for other videos. We kind of want to do a few things all at once, so that way we're not forever processing this deer. So let's get started. I have all the ingredients out here for this. Never mind the processing. I went ahead and finished up the beef bones and making beef stock, and got some stuff out of the freezer to be able to have room for this. But we're still going to keep that out because I'm not done. This is the rib meat that was skirted off of the ribs. It's fairly thin already. So that would be like a piece that's already cut into its size that we kind of want. It'll be a little bit small, but it'll be okay. It's kind of like a skirt steak on a cow. It is already nice and thin. We're going to go ahead and get the silver off of here. Cut this up into strips, and we'll be right back. This is the part that makes everything chewy. It's called silver skin. You wanted this removed, or else the meat will shrink up and you'll never be able to chew it unless you like meat gum. So that's what this stuff makes. That took a while. It took about 40 minutes to get all that done. There were a lot of silver on there. I wasn't able to get them all off. I got as much as I could and saved the silver and the scraps for dog food. We have the kidneys, the liver, and the lungs to make dog food. That's going to be another episode. Dogs are meant to eat the organs. We are meant to eat the organs. It's highly nutritious. But dogs especially are meant to eat the organs of animals because that's how their evolution grew. That's how they survived winters, is that they gorged themselves on the nutrition of the organs and left the meat for the birds. There was one piece that I'm keeping for steak. It's perfectly cut. Perfect. And it's a little bit thicker than I'd like. So I'm going to put this back into the freezer after I clean everything off. And we're going to eat it. Now this is about, I'd say 3.5 pounds to 4 pounds of rib meat, minus the one that I snagged for myself. You want to add a generous amount of salt to the meat and let it set for at least an hour. This will get the rest of the blood out along with any moisture. So that way whenever we put the marinade on here, it'll soak up the marinade. Make it a lot more flavorful. Now after about that hour, go ahead and drain and rinse the meat to get any of the extra salt off. That way you're not trying to give yourself a heart attack. Lots of salt. Okay, that's going to be covered up and put in the fridge. And let's go ahead and get this marinade done. All right, so here is what we're going to use for the marinade. It is a teriyaki style. I am going to use 1 cup of pineapple juice, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I bought some soy sauce for this. I do not want to use my homemade because we're going to be throwing out a lot of the marinade. I don't want to do that with that. Brown sugar, couple tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, if you mix regular white sugar with molasses, you get brown sugar. I do believe 1 cup and 1 tablespoon will make regular, normal brown sugar, and then you can add or subtract the molasses to get dark or light brown sugar. I'm also going to spice it up a little bit with some smoked paprika, garlic, of course, and a little bit of ground ginger. I already dehydrated some for this year. And the marinade is really, really easy. All we need to do is melt everything together and then let that cool in the refrigerator until it gets nice and cold, because you do not want to add hot liquid on raw meat. 1 cup of pineapple juice. Now, you can use water. Add a little bit of honey to your water, but I like the pineapple juice. Pineapple juice has enzymes that break down the meat and makes it more tender. 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Now it says 5 teaspoons of brown sugar. So we're going to do 5 teaspoons of regular white sugar. One teaspoon of molasses. Two if you want it a little bit darker. I'll make it a little darker. Why not? Now remember, this will scorch whenever you put it in the smoker. And put the meat this will scorch whenever you put the meat in the smoker, so you want to kind of monitor the sugar. 1/2 teaspoon of the powdered ginger. Smoked paprika to taste. We are going to use 1/2 teaspoon, because we want this a little bit smoky. Now the recipe says 1/4 teaspoon of garlic. So I'm going to use a tablespoon, or one whole teaspoon, because why not? And that's it. All we need to do is make sure all of this melts together. The sugar dissolves, comes up to a boil for about a minute. turn it off, put it in the fridge, and let it cool. Completely cool. After it is cold, we can go ahead and add it to our meat that has been salted and rinsed. Okay, this has been soaking for a while. It's got a little bit of liquid in there. We do want to go ahead and rinse this off and then add the marinade. We'll get the rest of that blood out. See how the water's turning? We want that. Kind of like washing meat. You kind of want to squeeze it a little bit. Get as much of the moisture out as possible. Let that drain. And then we're going to go ahead and put it back in the bowl. And add the marinade. Let that soak for as long as you can, preferably overnight. But at the very least, about, say, 5 or 6 hours. Day 2. Because it rained last night, we're going to go ahead and put the jerky in the dehydrator and not the smoker. I still want to keep that teriyaki flavor, but I do feel that the hickory smoke that we have, because my in-law has 13 acres of hickory trees, it will overpower the teriyaki taste to it. So we're going to go ahead and just dehydrate it in a dehydrator and not the smoker. This is the dehydrator that I bought at a garage sale for $5. Well worth it. It is made just for jerky. It has one temperature. Someone's also been working on their taxidermy skills. A friend of ours wants the skull. We're cleaning it for her. Right, this is a good old ring dehydrator. You've got a mesh to circulate. These type of dehydrators you need to keep an eye on every few hours, because you need to rotate the rings, because the bottom can get burnt and either real crispy and burnt, and the top not even done. So you kind of have to, do this every once in a while. This has been marinating overnight. It is marinated as much as it's going to marinate. Let's go ahead and drain this and put on the dehydrator. There's a reason why I put these in chunks like this, because I knew this was going to be a possibility. There's only so much room on these. And it's kind of like Tetris. Figure it out. Jigsaw puzzle. Now, I do have another one of these plastic meshes around, but I don't know where it is. And the only other thing that I have are solid ones, which will not work. I'm going to go ahead and put it straight on the rack. Yes, there's a lot of moisture, but it will evaporate. Design of this dehydrator is it will get up to the 180 temperature that it needs and stay there and for as long as you want it to, because there's no timer on it. 180 degrees will cook the meat and then dehydrate it at the same time, so you don't have to worry about pathogens or anything else like that. But they do need to be as thin as possible. Some of these I have to cut lengthwise because they're a little thick. This is going to take easily 10 hours. So I'm getting this started in the morning. It's like 6:30. And we'll just let this run all day. I am packing them on a little thick. You do want a air circulation on here. That way it doesn't take so long. And I've got so much. And I want to do this in one batch. At the end of this day, come or, rain or shine, done or not done, I'll go ahead and show it to you. And we're done. This is all of it. This was 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. Turn on the button and let it sit. It's 11 hours later and we now have jerky. We started out with 3 pounds of meat. One tray did disappear. And let's go ahead and get this weighed so we can go ahead and see how much moisture we lost. Ayla's very excited because there was another dog here. So this is going to be an in and out situation. Let's go ahead and get everything in the bag. Very nice and dry and dehydrated. It's what we want. We can always rehydrate if we need to add this to any type of soups or stews. But I don't think it's going to last that long. See how much this weighs now. 1 pound. We have lost 2/3 of its weight in liquid. We now have teriyaki dried deer, dried venison. You can use it like chopped beef, or you can munch it on it as jerky. Okay, so the jerky is done. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue on. I'm going to be filming several episodes in this one session because this is too much. This is day 2, and I've already been filming for 6 hours. I'm going to have a lot to edit. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in part 2.